Money makes a difference, and how you spend it makes a difference. So immediately a legislative body is confronted with, do we favor enormous inequity, or do we favor enormous redistribution? Or do you try to find a balance somewhere in between? So far we've tried to find the balance in between, and finding that balance is never easy. There are known disparities within that system. And part of your problem as you go forward will be the fact that those that have a disadvantage complain loudly, and those that have an advantage want to hold on to the doggone advantage they've got. So politically it becomes very difficult. Historically, the only times that there have been major movements made in school finance issues is either when there have been court press issues, where the courts have said, you've got to go do this, and y'all have been through that more than I have. The other times it's happened has been when there's been stellar leadership by the state elected officials. Second tripwire is this issue of recapture. It has now become a huge source of revenue for the state of Texas. Billions of dollars the state depends on for its revenue stream now. It now includes large urban areas, which was never the case when it first began. As Austin and Houston and Dallas and large urban areas with a large number of votes in this body get drawn into recapture, it becomes politically unsustainable. Sooner or later, those large urban areas will team up with the smaller people who are also in recapture and do something about it. And you may be very close to that precipitous point right now. Third factor that's a tripwire. Antiquated, obsolete factors that are built into that formula. There was no logic in them much to begin with because it was what the legislature could afford, not what made sense logically. You'll talk a lot about testing, but please don't get carried away with a lot of money being driven by test results. Testing should be used to inform and improve instruction for individual children, not be used to drive the structure of the funding system. It drives perverse reactions, ranging all the way from test prep that's excessive to try to get kids up so that you look better on the test when they're not really learning, to the really perverse things that happened when we got into the testing result last time, such as fraud. Some people went to jail over testing. Adults take perverse measures when money is involved. Teacher pay. Heavens knows they're due more. We must pay more. We must attract better teachers. We must retain better teachers. Teacher pay is an essential part of what you've got to struggle with. But be aware that for many years the state has been trying to get out of the business of dictating teacher pay. It varies so much from a Houston to a San Antonio to a Panhandle community to rural Texas. It's almost impossible for this body to set teacher pay. Teacher pay should be encouraged, but largely left to those local districts. Early intervention in difficult populations is working better than almost anything else the state has tried. Pre-K is working where it's being done well. What works in Houston or Dallas may not work very well at all in rural Texas. One of the things that it takes to make a school work well, especially if it's a school that's in trouble, is community engagement. There are stellar examples of that. But in each of those cases, it's involved a strong commitment from that community. Say, we will spend our money better. We will get involved in local school board decisions. We will be involved as a community and drive the improvement of our schools. And quite candidly, you as a state body have very little or no control over that community's ability and willingness to step up and do those kind of things. When you talk about testing, let it guide instruction. Let it be directed toward an individual guidance of students and their instruction. There's been a lot said about applying pressure to school systems. Took a lot of critique at the end of my tenure in this room for some of the bills we passed that applied pressure to school systems. Let me encourage you not to apply pressure to children so much, but to feel very free to apply pressure to the adults in the business. Whether you're talking about school board members, whether you're talking about administrators, there are adults in the business who should be held responsible for the performance of those schools. Don't be timid about expecting them to rise to the occasion, because most of them, not all of them, but most of them will rise to the occasion.